At exactly 7:03 a.m., my quiet little ranch got hit with the kind of chaos that makes you wonder if you're still dreaming. I was brushing down Tango, our steadiest patrol horse, just starting my day, when the front gate rattled so hard it sounded like someone was trying to break it clean off the hinges. The screech of tires put Tango on edge, and before I could so much as blink, I heard that voice. Karen, so sharp and high it could cut glass, slicing through the early morning air, announcing trouble before I even saw her. You know the type, right? She came marching up the gravel drive in a bathrobe and flip-flops, her coffee cup raised like a gavel, leading two animal control officers who looked about as out of place as penguins in Texas. She pointed at the horses and started up. There they are, the dangerous beasts. Loud, unsanitary, pooping in public view. Arrest the owner. One young officer just stared, trying to process the absurdity. But before anyone could respond, the morning took a turn. A cloud of dust rose from the west pasture, and up rode Sheriff Briggs, badge gleaming, hat straight, and, wouldn't you know it, mounted on Dusty, the very horse Karen was trying to get arrested. He dismounted like he owned the ground, nodded at Karen, and said, "Morning, ma'am. I hear you've got a problem with one of my deputies." Karen's mouth moved, but nothing came out. She looked like she'd just learned horses could talk. Instead of humbling her, that only fueled her indignation. She whipped out her phone and dialed 911, claiming the sheriff himself was conspiring with the horses. The officers tried to explain. Dusty was officially part of the sheriff's mounted division. That only made Karen shriek louder, declaring, "That's not a thing. Horses can't be cops." I stepped in, calm as you please, told her I was the handler and trainer for the unit. She stared at me like I'd said I was raising unicorns. "This is a residential zone. You can't have livestock." "That's against HOA rules," she insisted. Sheriff Briggs leaned against Dusty, cool as ever, and explained, "This site's been a patrol base long before the HOA even existed. Grandfathered in." Karen didn't want to hear it, demanded documentation, apologies from Dusty, and, bizarrely, for the horse to apologize for pooping near her mailbox. Neighbors started drifting over, some filming on their phones. The older animal control officer, with a mustache that meant business, told Karen, "Unless there's neglect or abuse, we don't have jurisdiction. These horses are healthy, registered, and, working law enforcement." Karen went off, screaming that the horses neigh at her on purpose, that the smell of hay ruined her allergies and emotional stability. I tried not to laugh, but failed. Briggs just smirked. She called 911 again, this time accusing us all of running a rogue cowboy militia. That's when dispatch told her the sheriff she was reporting was, in fact, present and in uniform. She hollered about a horse conspiracy. Meanwhile, I offered coffee to the animal control officers. They declined but hung around, probably to see what other circus acts Karen would pull. She eventually stormed off, tripped on a rock, spilled coffee down her robe, and flung her phone right into the horse trough. Tango, ever the gentleman, nuzzled her. She shrieked like he'd bitten her. "Don't touch me with your hooves of crime," she yelled, falling again, soaking herself even more, giving everyone an unintentional comedy show. After she fled, Briggs told me, "I've seen meth raids go smoother." He assured me he'd be filing a formal report and alerting the HOA about Karen's misuse of emergency services. But he warned me she wouldn't back down. Sure enough, by the afternoon, I got hit with a barrage of HOA citations, improper fencing, unapproved barn modifications, livestock violations. All nonsense. But Karen, as a board member, was clearly pulling strings, trying to bend the rules after being shot down by the law. What Karen didn't realize is that I had every permit, certificate, and exemption digitized and triple backed up. I sent everything off to the HOA and sheriff's office, just for good measure. That night, I double-checked every security camera angle. Our mounted patrol wasn't just ceremonial. Body cams on every saddle, footage of everything, including Karen accusing a horse of intimidation. The sheriff said the deputies had already turned her 911 call into a meme, her mid-scream with the caption, "Who let the horses out?" But Karen wasn't finished. I woke up to another HOA email, this time calling my horses an urgent livestock threat. She attached blurry screenshots from her security cameras, accusing the horses of forming hostile formations. I actually dropped my feed bucket laughing. Then she summoned me to an emergency board meeting. Her attempt to stack the deck, rally her cronies, and pass a rule that would ban the horses outright, and I walked into that meeting ready. Paperwork in hand, blue patrol polo, boots, and my best try me smile. Karen launched into her speech about noise, allergies, microaggressions, and even referenced a neighbor sneezing as proof of harm. She tried to sneak in a new rule that would ban all non-domesticated animals, intentionally excluding horses. But Mr. Gilmore, one of the older board members, gave me the floor. I laid it all out. Permits, law enforcement exemptions, video of the horses, even body cam footage of Karen threatening to sue Dusty for war crimes. The board laughed. The vote wasn't even close. Karen lost, only her cousin siding with her. The very next morning, though, my gate was locked with a new padlock. Security footage showed Karen at midnight, hoodie up, fumbling with chains. Instead of calling the sheriff, I left her a note. Smile for the camera. Later, the patrol deputy trotted Tango right past her house. She screamed about illegal surveillance. The deputy just tipped his hat and told her to go back inside. Karen kept escalating. She filed county complaints, claimed illegal structures, barn expansions, safety hazards. But the kicker? The trench she reported as mine was actually one she'd dug herself. Caught on camera, timestamped, audio and all. When the county dismissed her complaints and opened a case against her, even the sheriff called to say, let her bury herself deeper. But then, the water supply to the horses was sabotaged, valve glued shut, pipes tampered with, all caught on camera. This wasn't HOA drama anymore. This was criminal. The sheriff moved fast. Meanwhile, I set up backup tanks, more cameras, and waited. And then, it hit a new low. One night, the barn alarm blared. I found the side door wide open, gear scattered, feed ruined, and worst of all, someone had tried to lure Tango from his stall. The footage was crystal clear. Karen, gloves, flashlight, carrot. She kicked the stall when Tango wouldn't come. I didn't wait. The next morning, animal welfare, sheriff's deputies, and a warrant team showed up at Karen's house. Charges: trespassing, property damage, tampering with patrol animals, illegal water diversion. Karen denied everything, claiming the videos were deep fakes, that the horses were actors, and the sheriff was running a horse-based surveillance scheme. The investigation got weirder. Environmental officers discovered a partially collapsed tunnel running from Karen's yard under my barn, filled with gloves, tools, and energy drink cans. If it had kept sinking, it could have collapsed the whole barn. Charges doubled. Animal endangerment, environmental crimes. Karen spiraled. She crashed a sheriff's press briefing, claimed the horses were plotting, held a press conference in her yard. The news ran split screen. Karen ranting, Karen in the tunnel, internet exploded. Hashtag Tunnel Karen trended. Then came the horse parade, residents riding by, singing parody songs. Karen's reputation crumbled, her board allies vanished, but she had one more card to play. She filed a lawsuit, emotional distress, property devaluation, psychic trauma. Her lawyer was her brother-in-law, the same guy banned from traffic court for shouting objections. The case was heard at the county fairgrounds, during the annual horse expo, no less. Karen arrived in a neck brace, emotional support lemon in hand. The judge, a former rancher's son, asked for real evidence. She handed in self-typed notes about horses whispering secrets. The case was thrown out, Karen was fined, and banned from contacting me or the horses. But she just kept pushing. Late one night, my motion alarms caught her sneaking into the restricted training corral. She had a can of neon spray paint, planning to tag the barn. Sheriff Briggs arrived. Karen mumbled about exposing the horse regime. This time, The charges were federal. The video leaked, went viral, but the neighborhood had moved from laughter to resolve. The board banned Karen from all future events. Her property grew wild, and she stopped showing her face. The court ordered a psychological review after she attempted to question herself in the witness box. She failed. Her blog, full of conspiracies about equestrian espionage, faded into internet infamy. Peace finally returned. Patrol horses out, kids playing, laughter coming easy again. Now, sometimes in the evening, Sheriff Briggs and I will stand at the fence, watching Dusty and Tango in the glow of sunset, and he'll say, "Remember when she tried to sue a horse for intimidation?" And we laugh, because, in this town, the horses always get the last word. So, tell me, after all that, do you think Karen was really the villain here? Or just a warning about what happens when one person goes too far for control? Let's hear your take. Was justice served, or did the system fail somewhere along the way? Drop your thoughts below, and let's get this conversation going.